You reach into the cabinet and grab something sweet. You didn't plan to. You weren't even hungry, but something pulled you there anyway. And the really strange part? That pull has nothing to do with willpower, nothing to do with discipline, and absolutely nothing to do with weakness. It goes back much further than that. It goes back about 300,000 years. Your brain is not the brain of someone who lives in 2024. It's the brain of someone who lived in a world where food could disappear at any moment, a world where a piece of ripe fruit wasn't a snack, it was survival. And the brain that kept your ancestors alive is the exact same brain sitting inside your skull right now, making decisions for a world it was never built for. That's the twist. And once you understand it, the way you think about sugar will never be the same. Here's what most people get wrong about sugar cravings: they treat them like a character flaw, a lack of self control, a personal failing. But researchers like Robert Lustig, a neuroendocrinologist at the University of California, San Francisco, have spent decades showing that sugar doesn't just taste good, it hijacks the exact same reward circuits in the brain that respond to addictive substances. Not metaphorically, literally the same pathways, the same dopamine release, the same escalating tolerance, the same compulsive return. And it starts before you even take a bite. The moment your tongue detects sweetness, your brain releases a shot of dopamine. Dopamine is often called the pleasure chemical, but that's not quite right. It's more accurate to call it the anticipation chemical. It doesn't reward you for getting something good. It motivates you to go get it. It creates the craving before the reward, which means by the time you finish the first cookie, your brain is already calculating how to get the second one. This is not an accident of modern food engineering. This is ancient machinery. Think about your ancestors standing in a forest 200,000 years ago. Calories were not guaranteed. Hunting failed. Rivers dried up. Seasons shifted. In that world, the ability to detect sweetness from a distance, to notice that a piece of fruit was ripe, calorie dense, and energy rich, was the difference between surviving a lean winter and not surviving it. The brain that felt an overwhelming pull towards sweet things passed its genes forward. The brain that could take it or leave it often didn't. So, your brain got very, very good at wanting sugar. Anthropologist and food researcher Richard Wrangham at Harvard has argued that the shift in human diet, and particularly the discovery of how to concentrate and process carbohydrates through cooking, fundamentally rewired our metabolic relationship with sweetness. When early humans began cooking starchy tubers and roots, they were unlocking dense glucose that the raw plant couldn't deliver. And the brain, already primed to chase sweetness, got a signal upgrade. More sugar available, want more, remember where it is? Go back. That signal hasn't quieted down, not in 300,000 years. Now, fast forward, you're in a modern grocery store. The average American supermarket contains roughly 40,000 different products, and a significant portion of them contain added sugar. Not because food companies are trying to poison you, but because your brain tells you something tastes better when it has sugar in it. So, products with sugar in them sell better. So, the entire industry gravitates toward adding sugar wherever possible. This is not conspiracy. It's just a feedback loop between ancient brain wiring and modern market forces. And the food scientists know exactly what they're doing with it. There's a concept in food engineering called the bliss point. It was first formally identified by market researcher Howard Moskowitz in the 1970s while working with food corporations. The bliss point is the precise ratio of sugar, salt, and fat that produces maximum pleasure without triggering sensory overload. the exact combination that makes your brain say more instead of enough. Moskowitz didn't invent this response, he just measured it. The response itself was already built into you. Your brain has no upper limit for wanting the bliss point. That's the problem. In a world where sweet things were rare, that limitless craving was useful. A piece of fruit had a ceiling. There were only so many on the tree, and your stomach had a physical limit. But when food engineers can engineer a product to hit your bliss point in every single bite, with no natural ceiling anywhere in sight, the ancient machinery runs at maximum throttle all the time. And you feel it as an inability to stop at one serving, as a craving that comes back stronger the next day, as a reach into the cabinet you didn't consciously decide to make. But here's where it gets stranger. It's not just your taste buds. Your gut has taste receptors too.